Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I think that we can get started. So once again, welcome to our webinar. We will make sure to respect your time. My name is Kaja Figlatska, and I'm a sales support specialist at Kirkhoff Technologies, MSP, which is a managed service provider. And joining me today is obviously Isabel Schmidt, our VCIO and AVP projects. She works with our clients to create a vision for information technology that meets the organization's objectives. And then she works with our project team to implement that vision. At the end of our presentation, we will have a Q&A section. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat and then we will review those. Well, have a nice webinar, and Isabel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kaya. All right, so today we're going to be talking about why it's important to have an integrated and cohesive ecosystem for your organization. We're going to explore what the essence of the Microsoft Modern Workplace is, its role in productivity, revolutionizing productivity in organizations, the way that it's integrated into all the other tools, and how you can leverage that for collaboration and embrace the power of Microsoft's innovative solutions that helps drive your organization towards success. So we're going to uncover some, well, not so hidden, but features in Microsoft 365 that can transform your teams. And maybe you don't really know that they're in there, but your organization is paying for them and they're included with your subscriptions anyways. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some of you might have seen this infographic on our social media or in a postcard, but it really kind of highlights what a lot of organizations do. They're still operating in workflows like they're in Office 2010, where they purchase a subscription to Microsoft 365, but all they do is just use like Word and Excel on a file server. There's so much more to the platform that's included with your subscription. And many times we see organizations going out and getting third-party tools to do things that are built into the platform that they're already subscribing to. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So what is Microsoft 365? Well, as we said, it's not just your standard Office applications. It includes those, but it includes so much more. Are you really getting the most out of your Office 365 license? So one of the things that's really important to understand is that what we're going to be talking about is digital transformation with the Microsoft Modern Workplace. It's about changing your organization, your workflows, and your processes, not about the technology. It's not 2010, and you need to stop. You need to be doing more than just running your organization out of Excel and Office applications. The nature of work has changed, and employees are expecting to work securely from anywhere on any device. They put a high premium on work that enriches and fulfills them. When their productivity tools enhance their quality and effectiveness of their work, they're generally happier and more valuable, more likely to stay. These tools provide a rich collaborative environment that allows teamwork from anywhere. So we're going to talk next about some kind of overarching technologies that are part of the entire platform. In every application you're going to work with, you're going to be working with one of these aspects of the solution. And so we're going to start with security. It's really vital for organizations to trust the security of their cloud environments. And Microsoft really steps up here with the Entra ID or Azure Active Directory, and then solutions like Intune for policy and device management and other security solutions like the data loss prevention. All of this stuff comes around and focuses on the identity of the end user. As you can see, like on the screenshot here, we have my identity. My computer is logged in. Windows, the operating system itself, knows who I am. The web browser, Microsoft Edge that I'm logged in with, knows who I am. If I'm logged into Excel or Word, that application knows who I am. It's all protected through strong policies that set up trust and identity, like your multi-factor authentication, so that even in a distributed environment, whether you're talking with somebody down the hallway or across the country, you can be sure that Microsoft has ensured the identity and you can trust the platform in who you're interacting with and the work that they're doing. So this Microsoft identity is transferable right across every app we're going to be looking at today. And that's one of the things that really sets the modern workplace apart, is instead of having dozens of different applications that a user might have to log into, setting up accounts during onboarding or offboarding, who has access to what, people change roles inside of an organization, and you might have to give them new tools or take other tools away. By securing the entire platform with your user's Enter ID, they're sent as their persona inside of Microsoft. All of that is done under a single sign-on with a single application that's protected by multi-factor authentication. One of the things with Microsoft 365 is it stores almost all of the information that's put into it in one of two locations. The first one is in an application called Microsoft Exchange, and this isn't just an email server stuck in a closet somewhere like it was in Small Business Server 2011 or something like that. This is kind of the state of the personas, the state of your Microsoft entity. Are you online? Are you offline? Are you in meetings? Are you available? When will you next be available? Who's in what groups of shared mailboxes and calendars? It does include your email and your contacts, but it also includes your tasks, what you have to do today, tomorrow, and through the rest of your week. Exchange is kind of like the people management side of communications and status. The other one is Microsoft SharePoint. SharePoint displaces, synchronization tools like, say, Dropbox or on-premises file server. By taking data and storing it in Microsoft SharePoint, you're putting it into a powerful document management and collaboration platform. It includes databases and lists and forms, different web parts that are little applications built into your organization. SharePoint is the tool or the application that contains everything from Microsoft Teams to your OneDrive, to your shared documents, to things you put into Loop, to documents maybe shared in your email. All of that is stored in SharePoint. Microsoft Teams, of course, is not just a chat application. It's a single pane of glass, and it's a collaboration suite. It allows for custom solutions and workflows to be developed. It has powerful collaboration capabilities. It can do everything from meetings to events to webinars like this one. Calls and meetings, of course, it is capable of doing. It can also be your phone system. And all of this communication and collaboration is all secured through that Enter ID that we talked about earlier. Microsoft Loop is an awesome application for structured collaboration between multiple team members. It's great for brainstorming. It's great for organizing meetings, for collaborating on policy and things like that. It can contain everything from checklists to task lists, Kanban boards, meeting notes, all in one great place that's highly customizable. And the really powerful about it is its integration into the other applications. If you create a task list, for example, in Microsoft Loop, where you're doing your collaboration and you send out an email afterwards and you include that task list, you're not copying and pasting the text of that task list into Outlook to send it. You're sending that actual task list. If somebody opens their email inbox and checks off that they're done their task in that task list, it's done on the board where it was all created. That level of integration between the different kinds of tools is the thing that really makes Microsoft 365 a platform that not very few other, if any, other product can compete with. Planner app, this of course is just really awesome for lightweight team collaboration on projects. And again, it integrates into all of the other platforms, checklists and tasks, Kanban boards that you move around and work with inside of Planner. They might end up in Loop, they might end up in Teams, and that's the cohesive ecosystem, is that where users want to interact with the content is up to them, and it's the same. It's all across the board. If you've got Kanban boards and Planner and you want to show them in Microsoft Loop and somebody else wants to just interact with that in their task list in Outlook or on their mobile device, they're able to access and interact and collaborate with your teams where they're at on the device that they have in their hand when they need to. And that's really kind of the power of all of this cohesive ecosystem. Microsoft Bookings is not just like a replacement for Calendly or something like that. It's not just the little book with me icon that everybody has that has an Outlook mailbox. Yes, it does those things. It allows you to share your calendar publicly with other people, but the application of Bookings itself does so much more. It could be set up for shared services, perhaps maybe like a salon that's doing chair rentals between a few stylists. People can go online, they can see the availability of both objects, resources, buildings, and people. And all of that can be set up inside of structured bookings times, like your office hours, maybe after hours is different, whatever it is. So for example, if you wanted to do a book with me, or if you guys wanted to go to the discovery call on our website, you would find a initial consultation that is linked to my calendar, but also includes Kaya's. And if we needed to book a meeting with both myself and our president, Joshua Smith, another bookings link contains both of those. And again, that can be shared publicly. A really powerful example is an organization that we worked with recently. They had a shared service that they have out in their community. It's just a service that they provide to the community. But it has a physical resource, and it also has staff members that need to run that resource. And they wanted the calendar of that resource to be available so that people in the community could see where it was on what days of the week. And so taking it a step further than just simply having a publicly displayed calendar on their website, they also wanted people to be able to book that resource to their own events or something like that. So we were able, through Microsoft Bookings, to create that calendar on their website that shows the public where the service is, but then also allows people to go on. They can book that resource and have it come to their event. On the back end, Microsoft Bookings is looking in Exchange. It's identifying staff members that are capable of doing that. It's identifying whether or not that resource is available, because that resource is a resource in Microsoft Exchange. And so by doing this, they're able to eliminate a process that may have included a receptionist going through multiple people's calendars, looking through vacation calendars, looking through a resource calendar and talking with people. It would have been a very manual process for people or clients in their community to book that resource. This is not a new application. It's not something that is, a service that you're subscribed to on a monthly basis. Every single person that has Microsoft Business Standard or Premium has access to Microsoft Bookings. Every organization can create these. So this is an example of a really powerful service that is part of your Microsoft 365 platform that many organizations really just kind of underutilize. And so many of these apps that we talk about are so underutilized. Copilot is the new kid on the block, so to speak. It's a little bit pricey, but it's a really powerful add-on for Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Business Premium, and the enterprise licensing. And what this is it's the GPT AI, but it's the GPT AI unlocked inside of your organization's environment. So for example, if I needed to write a document, so say an HR person needs to write a document on a policy, they might use Copilot inside of Microsoft Word to draft that policy. If they're going to use a standard AI, in that particular case, you might wind up having to do something like copy and paste, but you're not getting formatting and things like that. Copilot will create data inside of Microsoft Word, completely formatted, etc. Once that's saved into SharePoint, you could then open up PowerPoint and say, hey, create a presentation on this policy for our staff members that I just made. Oh, and by the way, can you, give me an email that I'm going to send out talking about how we're going to discuss it in next week's meeting. Copilot understands that there's a document that was made. It can create a PowerPoint out of that, and it understands when the meeting is that you're talking about. A standard AI is incapable of accessing your information in that particular way. But not only that, it's an AI that is secured with the same Entra ID. If I do it, it's going to be accessing information that I have access to in the Microsoft platform. If I don't have access to it, my Copilot doesn't know about it. Kaya's Copilot would be completely different than mine because she has access to different things than I do, and I have access to different things than she does. My email is different, my calendar is different. It's a personalized AI specifically for you that is able to operate securely inside of your business environment. So those are just kind of some of the highlight ones that people quite often overlook. And what we're going to talk now about is just kind of some other solutions. And we could deep dive into any one of these in an entire webinar all by themselves. And we're going to actually probably start doing that in the near future. But I'm just going to kind of give you a highlight of some of these applications. So Clipchamp is an online video editing tool. If you just need to like get videos together for an SOP that you just wrote, or to set up new information for new onboarding and new employees, for example, or maybe you've just got like the company barbecue videos and you want to put them together and get them up online and share them with the team. Clipchamp is an online video editing tool that's available to Microsoft 365 Business Standard and Premium subscribers. Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Pages. These are low-code or no-code application development environments that allow you to create custom utilities and services primarily for your first-line workers. So for example, maybe you've got information that you need to collect from out in a community, and you send somebody out there with a clipboard to take some pictures and fill out a form that has to go back into the administrative office where a data entry clerk is going to sit there and enter that into whatever system you're recording it into. A Power App, for example, could take that. It could save those photos into a SharePoint list. It could take formatted data, and it could be deployed to a mobile device, all without a single piece of code being written. The things that we've seen in the Power Apps development community, we're talking about like absolutely organizationally changing apps developed by HR managers, developed by accounting staff. It's a really, really powerful feature. And once you let first line or administrative workers get their hands on something like this, the creativity that they come up with to create solutions is really empowering, both for them and the first line staff that use it. Microsoft Engage, it connects people inside your organization on a personal level. It's a bulletin board. It's your social media for the company. You can think of it as like kind of like your own internal LinkedIn for your team and your people. That's Engage. Microsoft Learning, keeping your staff up to date with online training is incredibly important. Trained staff, educated staff are empowered staff. And with Microsoft Learning, you can assign out trainings, you can have your staff update existing trainings, do trainings for onboarding, etc. You can assign it out to individuals or they can freely explore it. By training your staff for onboardings and things like that, that's all done in Microsoft Learning. Lists is if you need some feedback, some surveys, formalized data entry. Lists is an integration into SharePoint that lets anybody, even lower barrier than the Power Apps, create structured data from an easy to use program. So for example, if you were a manufacturing organization and you had safety checklists that needed to be done at the beginning of each shift, this would be an excellent example of where you could document that data inside of a SharePoint list, and you could publish that as a form that somebody, again, on an iPad or a mobile device might be able to use out on a shop floor. If you need to collect survey information from a community, this would be a great one. These can be public facing. You could email them out to customers, to clients, constituents, users. Microsoft Lists is an excellent way to get data collection in a really, really simple way. Microsoft Planner, as we talked about, it keeps your projects organized using a modern, lightweight project management tool that integrates with the rest of your staff's workflows. We touched a bit about that earlier in the presentation. Microsoft OneNote is the tried and true note-taking application for individuals. It is still a very powerful and a go-to application for many people that just need digital note-taking. If you do need to collaborate with additional people, Microsoft Loop is very similar to OneNote, but is an online and shared environment. If you need to use OneNote with more than one person, do have a look at Microsoft Loop. Microsoft Stream. If Engage is like your LinkedIn for your organization, Stream is like your YouTube. It's built right into the rest of your online platforms. Your meeting recordings can go to it. Your Clipchamp content can go to it. All available to your staff on demand. It can do closed captioning. It can do transcriptions. And if you sign out, say, you've got a video on a new process and you send it out to your staff and say, please watch this video about, our upcoming changes. It can track what staff have gone through and looked at that. You can see statistics on it. Most importantly, it keeps that internal to your organization. If you were to say, take a video like that and post it on YouTube in your company account and just have it as an unlisted video, well, Google's still going to scrape that. Google's still going to analyze it with their AIs. Your information that's in that video is still left and is out there in the world. By keeping that inside of your systems like Microsoft Stream, you're securing that information inside of your organization's own data silos. Microsoft Sway builds beautiful presentations, signage, digital displays. It's storyboarding, an interactive kiosk. You can get your message across in ways that are far more engaging to the users and to your consumers than with just a plain PowerPoint. It's really great for kind of like one-on-one or presentations where you're just telling a story and taking people through your presentation. Interactive kiosks and things like that, where you need people to interact with content, perhaps in a digital display or sign. Sway can build beautiful, beautiful content that way. And Microsoft Whiteboard, even with tools like Loop and Teams, sometimes just messy brainstorming in a shared space is what a team needs to be thinking outside of the box. Like all Microsoft 365 apps, it's integrated into the other tools like Microsoft Teams. You can have two people sitting in two teams in two different boardrooms across the office, across the building or the country. And Microsoft Whiteboard is that shared collaboration space for doing that kind of rough and dirty brainstorming. There's even more applications than this, and we could do 30 minutes or 1 hour, even full day sessions on every one of these tools that we've talked about today. And in fact, we're going to be doing that starting next month with Microsoft Loop. We're going to be revisiting that. If you have interest in some of these tools specifically and would like us to do a webinar or a presentation on one of them, just let us know, and we're happy to include that in our upcoming content that we create. One of the things that's really important to us as an organization at Kirchhoff Technologies and Mission Impact is working with non-commercial organizations. Microsoft has some incredible grants and discounts for nonprofit organizations that can start with as low as zero cost for like your first 10 users of Business Premium. It can include mailboxes for free for volunteer staff and people that don't need an integrated office environment. Even for when you do encounter charges with Microsoft 365, they're incredibly heavily discounted, as much as 90% off the retail pricing. So this is available to organizations that are registered nonprofits in their jurisdiction. So for many of our clients, that would be in British Columbia or nationally in Canada. If you have any questions kind of about qualifying for this, if you know you would qualify, but you're paying for other services, reach out to us and talk to us about how you might be able to reduce your software costs and improve your organization's mission outcomes using technology. But of course, don't just take our word for it. Our customers love us. This is a really great quote from Lorraine Wild, a local First Nations community that we worked with to take them through this modern workplace transformation. When we started with them, they had an old on-premises server, very static workflows, hey, are you done with that file yet? I need to get into it. And they were up against a server replacement that was going to be quite costly. So we were able to migrate them to cloud services first and foremost. We were able to decommission their on-premises directory server, and now they're cloud first, and they're experiencing a much better workflow, having gone down this digital transformation with the Microsoft Modern Workplace. So what are your next steps? Of course, it's always going to be reach out and have an initial consultation with us. I'd love to hear where you're at with your journey in these tools. Are you using disjointed tools? Are you having problems getting them connected? Maybe you don't need to work. Maybe you don't need to connect them. Maybe you just need to change tools and utilize something you're already paying for. Love to have that conversation. Don't hesitate to reach out and we can go through that. All right. Do we have any questions thus far?
No, we don't.
No questions? Okay.
Questions?
You can send me an email if you wind up with any. Don't hesitate to do so. So as I mentioned, our next webinar is going to be on Microsoft Loop. So we did one in the spring about that, and it was just kind of a really high level overview of the introduction to Microsoft Loop. We're going to delve a little bit deeper into it and show you some of the features and capabilities that have come out since the spring. This is going to be the first one of these Microsoft applications that we do this review on. If you want to see specific ones, don't hesitate, ping us, let us know, and we'll get that in the queue. As always, don't ever hesitate to reach out. You can give us a phone call, send us an email. You can book a discovery call directly on our website using bookings. You can also reach out and connect with us on LinkedIn. We post regular content like these webinars and newsletters. And I love connecting with clients and customers and community members. So don't hesitate, just ping me directly on LinkedIn and I'm happy to connect. So that's our webinar for this month. Thank you, and we will see you all around.
Thank you very much.